My name is Steve Burnham, and for a long time I've made several different contraptions to use pedal power on the water. I've had a canoe with bicycle pedals in it. I've even had a canoe with pedals and paddle wheels on both sides, and they all work to a certain degree. And I've always wanted to use my legs to propel us through water, and I've realized how efficient a fish is. And what I've built here is trying to combine our leg abilities with the maneuverability of a fish's fin. And when I first made it, I didn't even know if it was going to work. It was just an idea in my head. And as I started making it, and as I progressed making it more and more, I started realizing that I might be onto something, and I had a lot of fun making it. And what I made was basically a fish boat. You pedal it with your feet, and it swims like a fish. At this speed right here of pedaling is about the optimum for going somewhere. And the advantages of that are you can steer as a fish steers by just favoring one side or the other. And once you're moving, it's like it's alive. You can pause on one side and it'll rudder one side, or you can pedal one side or pedal the other side. And for bass fishing, where you work your way around the lake and cast back towards the bank, and you're steadily working your way and casting, this works perfect. You're already in an upright position, and you have no worry of tipping over like you would in a canoe or a kayak. For duck hunting, it's perfect. You're already sitting up, and you can have your shotgun in your hand as you're slipping up into these little places that wood ducks like to hide. If you've ever duck hunted, you know that when you first get there, that's when it all happens. One of the major advantages to this boat is you can slip and slide in total silence, and you can go in shallow water, it'll go in a foot of water. It's pretty much completely weedless. You can swim through most anything. All the different weeds and aquatic stuff you'll get tangled up in, and this swims through most of it. But I made it so you can pick the whole unit up. If you get too many lily pads on it, you can shake them off, and then you can just set partially down in the water and swim through it, and then you can let it all the way down and be on your way. And the solitude, you don't disrupt nature. If you're into nature photography, you'll see a lot more with this. You can have your camera in your hand as you're easing up on stuff. It's a natural motion of the oscillation back and forth that it doesn't disturb the wildlife. And its maneuverability, again, without using your hands, you can maneuver and keep right where you want to be. If you've ever been in a canoe or kayak or john boat and you're trying to maneuver, it's a full-time job with your hands. If you have a trolling motor or something like that, that's a whole different story. We're trying to go green here. It's just an incredible boat to spend the whole day out on the water. It's in little backwaters, little sneak boat. You can sneak up on anybody and anything. When I first made the boat and saw how well it worked, the applications seem endless. It's just very comfortable, and once it's moving, it feels like it's alive, and you're alive with it, and it's a whole different way of being on the water. When I first built it, I didn't know if it was going to work, and I built this prototype just out of wood. The pontoon part is made out of paneling with a thin layer of fiberglass. The pedal parts and this turning part here is all made out of wood. It's fairly crude. The framework I welded up out of tubing. And for a production model, The pontoons should be made out of plastic like they make kayaks. That would make it lighter and more durable. The pedals should be made out of plastic and different stuff out of aluminum and stainless, so it could be more waterproof and weatherproof, because all boats need to be where you can leave them outside. I can see the use of a bunch of different accessories, different ways of mounting luggage and coolers, rod holders, maybe even a sail. If you were to have a small sail, you've already got your feet on the rudder, so you'd only need one hand on the sail. You wouldn't need both hands busy to work that as a small sailboat. For duck hunting, you could have a duck hunting blinds that would cover it all up. Here in Florida, it rains a lot, and if you want to go camping, you can put all your camping gear away in this, and nothing's going to get wet. I want to start with the business end here. When the fin goes back and forth through the water, as you can see, that right there won't push you. With my springs and my limiters that I have right here, as you push it through the water, it automatically articulates like that. And that's what makes it swim like a fish. That's what actually pushes you, is the way this piece right here articulates when you shove it through the water. And then once you're moving, if you want to turn, you can just pause here and it'll rudder that way and take you that way. Or you can pedal on this side and it'll take you that way. Or you can pedal on this side here and it'll take you that way. And how I've got all this built is the secret of what makes this work. As you can see it, the swimming motion, when it's in the water gives you enough resistance to make this right here articulate. And then how that connects to your feet, it comes right up through here in this pivot, and then I've got big radius going around the front of this. And there's cables in this radius, and the cables come and turn through these pulleys here and go forward, and then they go into the radius on the pedal structure. And as you can see, this radius is up and down, and this one is horizontal. And having that transition is what I was able to make your leg movement go into side-to-side movement. And as you can see, when one goes forward, the other one goes back, and it's just a very natural, smooth motion. And then to keep the cables from having a problem back there, there's a third cable right here in the front with a pulley and the idler pulley, and that keeps the tension on everything. And you can see it just moves very nice and slow and smoothly. It's a whole different way of being on the water.